Aptis listening test. Take time to read the questions by using the pause button.
You will hear 5 people talking about how they get to work. Choose from the list A to F the type of transport each person uses to get to work. Use the letters only once. There is one extra letter which you do not need to use. 1.
I nearly always leave the car somewhere near the tube, because it would be madness trying to get into town by car in the rush hour. It takes me a few minutes to drive to the underground, and I leave the car in a little side street. There's a train every few minutes, so there's never a problem. It is getting a bit expensive, but it's not too bad if you get a travel card. Well, it makes sense if you use the tube regularly, and, of course, you can also use the card on the bus, so it's very convenient.
2.
Well, as a sales representative, my job involves a lot of travelling around, so it would hardly be practical to get around by bus or even by train. So I'm afraid I have to take the motor. It does involve sitting around in traffic jams some of the time, which I hate, but it means I can get to where I want to go at the drop of a hat. The company have reserved me a space in a car park not far from the office on a permanent basis, so at least I don't waste time looking for somewhere to park.
3.
I've been given strict doctor's orders to change my lifestyle and lead a more active life. I'd love to do more walking, but unfortunately the school is just a bit too far to get to on foot, so I've got myself a bike. It's great, especially when you're going downhill. And I've also taken up cycling as a hobby. So at weekends, well, my wife and I, that is, just put the bikes on the car and take off into the country.
4.
I set off from home on foot, and I'm at the bus stop in a few minutes. I used to use my own car before the traffic got so bad, but now that would be crazy. And unfortunately there isn't a direct rail link, and I really love trains, so it's a shame. But anyway, now I can travel in comfort at a reasonable price, and I pollute the environment less, which I think is very important. Nowadays we've all got to do our bit, haven't we? Only problem is, the buses don't always run on time, especially in the winter, which is a real drag.
5.
We used to have fairly cheap public transport, but of course that's all changed since they were privatised, so I can't really afford to take public transport. I mean, buses and trains, and taking a taxi is out of the question. So I've got myself a little scooter, which is quick. You don't sit around waiting in traffic jams, and it's easy to park. They do tend to get stolen a lot, though. That's the only problem. This is my 3rd one now, and I've got a great big...
You will hear people talking in 6 different situations. For questions 1 to 6, choose the best answer, A, B, or C. 1. You hear a man talking about a trip to Germany. Why did the barman bring him 3 martinis? A. He was with 2 German friends. B. The barman thought he was thirsty. C. He didn't speak German very well.
I was in Germany once on a business trip. After the meeting, everyone was feeling shattered and thirsty, so we went into the bar with a couple of German colleagues. There I was, dying for a drink, so I ordered a dry martini. A minute or 2 later, the barman hands me 3 dry martinis. I thought, odd, he must think I'm very thirsty, or there for somebody else. But apparently not. I had actually ordered 3 martinis. I'd asked for martini dry, you see. Well, how was I to know the German word for 3 is dry? You see, sounds just like dry. The number 1 is eine or something.
2. You hear a woman talking on the phone. Why is she phoning? A. To make an appointment. B. To check an appointment. C. To change an appointment.
I'm just calling to confirm an appointment with Dr. Simpson for, let me see. Yes, the 1st of October. No, sorry, I mean the 11th. Yes, you see, it was so far in advance, I was advised to make sure. You see, I just wanted to make sure she was going to be in on the day, you know. That's right, because I made the appointment some time ago. Will it be all right? Yes, I can phone back a bit nearer the time. Right. Okay, thanks.
Three. You overhear a woman talking about her job. What does the woman do? A. She is a nurse. B. She is a teacher. C. She is a shop assistant.
With children from other countries, like India and Pakistan, with the younger ones anyway, when their tooth falls out and they cry, if they've got enough English, I explain to them that in England you put the tooth under the pillow and a fairy will come and leave 20 pence. It's so funny, you see. I tell them they have to explain this custom to their mum and dad, and they go home and come back to school next day and put their hand up to tell me the fairy still hasn't come.
Four. You hear this conversation on a train. What does the man think of Birmingham? A. It can be interesting. B. It is too big. C. It is a very nice place to live.
I don't know what it is about Birmingham. It always strikes me as a bit, slightly messy and drab.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I like parts of it. It's got lots of parks and pubs. But I prefer London. I don't know how to put it. The difference is quite subtle because they're both big urban centres.
Yeah, right. Both huge and sprawling.
And the city centre is actually quite nice. They've done it up a bit and it's got a great concert hall, as good as anything in London. I mean, it's one of the best in Britain. It's added something quite new to what used to be a cultural desert. But still, you can't get away from it.
5. You hear this man talking about a visit to the theatre. What was his impression afterwards? A. It was a pleasant surprise. B. It was too expensive. C. It was quite pleasant.
Well, I didn't really want to go. I'd never been before, to a ballet, and what I'd seen on the TV was pleasant enough, but I always got a bit bored after a while, even with Swan Lake. All those pretty little girls pirouetting around. But my sister persuaded me to go, and although the tickets were very expensive, well, I think they were, must have been £20 or something, it really was, it turned out to be one of the finest things I've seen in the theatre. Well, any theatre. Must have been because it was a modern version or something.
6. Listen to this woman talking about a colleague. Why was she late for work? A. The alarm clock did not go off. B. Her watch was wrong. C. Her clock was not working properly.
I'd gone to bed very late, you see, but although I was tired, absolutely exhausted, I can tell you, I managed just about to hear the alarm. So I got up, had my coffee, taking my time, as I always do. But then I looked at my watch and realised the clock, my alarm clock, was way behind, because the battery was flat, I suppose. So I realised I was already an hour late. Oh, at least the traffic had thinned out a bit by then.